Uncover 12 hidden signs that you're far more attractive than you think. Through the lens of Carl Jung's profound insights on self-awareness and the shadow, from the way men react to you without a word to the magnetic energy you don't even realize you have, these signs will change how you see yourself. Stay until the end to learn how to fully embrace your hidden power and step into the magnetic presence you were always meant to have. Let's dive in. Let's dive into the first set of signs that reveal just how attractive you really are, starting with the ones that are so subtle you might not even notice them. Carl Jung, the pioneer of depth psychology, introduced the idea of the shadow, the parts of ourselves we don't fully see or embrace. But here's the fascinating part. Some of your most captivating qualities might be hiding in that shadow, radiating an energy that others can't help but feel. In this chapter, we'll explore the quiet, unspoken ways people react to you, ways that reflect your magnetic presence, even if you don't see it yourself. These subtle signals are like a mirror, showing you the allure you carry, without even trying. Let's get started with the first sign. Here's the first sign. Men get nervous around you, and it's a bigger clue than you might think. According to Carl Jung, your shadow holds the qualities you don't fully recognize, but others can feel them loud and clear. Have you ever noticed a guy acting a little off when you're around? Maybe he stumbles over his words, avoids eye contact, or fidgets with his shirt for no reason. You might assume he's just not into you. But Jung would say the opposite. Your presence is so powerful, it's throwing him off balance. I had a client, Sarah, who always felt she faded into the background at social events. But one night at a party, she noticed a guy who was usually super confident, stuttering and fidgeting while trying to talk to her. Later, she found out he'd been too intimidated to ask her out because her quiet confidence made him feel out of his depth. That's the kind of impact you might be having without even realizing it. So, if you catch a man acting clumsy or overly focused around you, don't dim your light to make him comfortable. It's a sign your hidden allure is working its magic. Straight from the shadow Jung talked about. Moving on to the second sign, people can't help but glance at you sometimes more than once without saying a word. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow suggests that the parts of yourself you don't fully see often shine the brightest to others. And this sign is a perfect example of that. Picture this. You're walking into a cafe, just focused on grabbing your coffee, when you notice someone look at you, and then look again. It's not just a casual glance, it's that second look, the one that lingers, like they can't quite figure out what's drawing them in. I had a friend, Emily, who never thought she stood out. But one day, while waiting in line at the grocery store, she caught a guy turning his head to look at her twice. Even though she was just wearing a hoodie and no makeup, she laughed it off. But that double take wasn't random. Jung would say, it's your shadow at play, the authentic, unfiltered energy. You radiate that. Pulls people in without you even trying. That second glance is like a silent confession. There's something about you that leaves an impression. Something magnetic they can't ignore. So, next time you catch someone sneaking that extra look, don't dismiss it. It's your hidden allure shining through. Straight from the shadow Jung described. Now that you've noticed those double takes like the ones Emily got at the grocery store, let's move to another subtle signal that's just as powerful. People smile at you, even if they don't know you. Carl Jung's shadow isn't just about the hidden parts of you. It's also about the energy those parts project, an energy so warm and magnetic that it can spark a reaction in complete strangers. Have you ever been walking down the street, maybe on your way to work, when a stranger suddenly flashes you a shy smile? Or maybe you're at the park, and a passerby grins at you, like they can't help themselves. That's not random kindness. It's your shadow shining through, lighting up the space around you. I remember my client, Mia, who always thought she came across as unapproachable. But one day, while waiting for the bus, a man across the street smiled at her. A genuine, warm smile. Even though they'd never met, she was confused at first. But then she realized it happened more often than she thought. Strangers lighting up just because of the energy she carried. Jung would say, "This is your authentic self breaking through the shadow, radiating a kind of effortless charm that doesn't need words." That spontaneous smile from a stranger is their way of saying, "I feel your energy, and it's beautiful." So, don't brush off those unexpected smiles. They're a reminder of the magnetic presence. You have a presence that's been there all along, waiting for you to see it too. Those unexpected smiles from strangers like the ones Mia experienced at the bus stop are just the beginning of how your energy impacts others. Now, let's talk about a sign that might feel a bit more delicate. Even men who are already in relationships can't help but look at you more than they should. Carl Jung's idea of the shadow tells us that the qualities you don't see in yourself often have the strongest pull on others. And this is one of those moments where your shadow's magnetic energy shines through. Have you ever been at a gathering? Maybe chatting with friends at a cafe. When you catch a guy who's clearly with his partner, stealing a glance at you that lingers a little too long, it's not that you're trying to draw attention, you're just being yourself. I had a client, Rachel, who noticed this at a friend's wedding. She was simply enjoying the evening, laughing with her friends, when she caught a married man across the room watching her. Not once, but several times, she felt uncomfortable at first. But then she realized it wasn't about her actions, it was about the natural energy she gave off. Jung would say, "This is your shadow at work. Your authentic presence radiates a kind of feminine energy that's hard to ignore, even for someone who's supposed to be looking elsewhere." Now, I'm not saying this is something to feel guilty about. It's not your fault. Instead, see it as proof of how powerful your energy is. That lingering glance isn't just a look. It's a reflection of the allure you carry in your shadow. A pull so strong it catches even those who aren't looking for it. We've already seen how your shadow creates subtle signals, like those lingering glances and shy smiles that reflect your hidden allure. But now, let's shift gears to something even more powerful, the magnetic pull of your authenticity. Carl Jung believed that true growth comes through individuation, the process of becoming your most authentic self by embracing every part of you, including your shadow. In this chapter, we'll explore how your natural, unfiltered self draws people in, even when you don't realize it. These signs show that your deepest allure isn't in what you do, but in who you are when you're simply being you. Let's dive into the first sign of this magnetic authenticity. Here's the first sign of your magnetic authenticity: you often underestimate yourself, yet people can't stop complimenting you. Carl Jung's idea of individuation is all about embracing your true self, and when you do, even without realizing it, others feel that authenticity and are drawn to it. Have you ever had one of those days where you feel far from your best? Maybe your hair's a mess, or you're just in a basic outfit, but someone still tells you, "You look amazing," or "There's something about you that's so captivating." That's not just politeness, it's a reflection of the energy you give off. I had a client, Lisa, who always brushed off her charm. One day, she showed up to a meeting feeling underdressed and unprepared. But a colleague pulled her aside and said, "I don't know what it is, but you have this glow that lights up the room." Lisa was shocked. She thought she was barely holding it together, but Jung would say that's her authentic self shining through during her individuation journey. The raw, unpolished you. That doesn't need perfection to be magnetic. Those compliments aren't random. They're proof that your natural energy speaks louder than your self-doubt. So, the next time someone praises you on a day you feel off, don't dismiss it. Believe it. It's your authenticity pulling them in. straight from the heart of your individuation process. Those unexpected compliments like the ones Lisa got at her meeting show how your authenticity shines in person. But that magnetic energy doesn't stop there. Let's move to the next sign. You get a surprising amount of attention on social media, even when you're not trying to stand out. Carl Jung's idea of individuation is about becoming your truest self. And when you share even a small piece of that authenticity online, people notice big time. Have you ever posted a casual photo, maybe just a snapshot of your morning coffee, or a selfie with no filter, and suddenly your inbox is flooded with likes, comments, or even DMs saying, "You've got this amazing vibe"? That's your authentic self breaking through. Just as Jung described in the individuation process. I had a client, Anna, who rarely posted on Instagram because she thought she wasn't photogenic. But one day, she shared a simple picture of herself reading in the park. No makeup, no fancy pose, and it got more likes than she'd ever seen. Friends and even strangers commented things like, "You look so real and radiant." Jung would say that's the power of your unfiltered self. Your natural energy travels through the screen, drawing people in without any effort. That attention isn't about the photo, it's about the vibe you give off. The kind of authenticity that people crave in a world full of curated perfection. So, the next time you get unexpected love on social media for just being you, don't question it. It's your individuation journey at work, proving that your truest self is more magnetic than any filter could ever be. That unexpected attention on social media, like Anna's park photo, getting all those likes, shows how your authenticity resonates with others, even online. But here's the deeper truth behind it all. Our next sign, you often don't realize your own power. Carl Jung's individuation process isn't just about becoming your true self. It's about recognizing the incredible impact that true self has on the world around you. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like you were just there, not really making an impression? But then later, someone tells you, "You totally changed the vibe when you showed up." That's your power at work, even if you don't see it. I had a client, Sophie, who always doubted her presence. At a small gathering with friends, she thought she was being quiet and unnoticeable. But the next day, a friend texted her, "The whole room lit up when you walked in. I don't know how you do it." Sophie was stunned. She had no idea she had that kind of effect. Jung would say this is a key part of individuation. The most magnetic women often don't see their own light because they're too busy doubting themselves. But that light is undeniable to everyone else. Your natural way of being, whether it's your calm confidence, your warm laugh, or the way you listen, leaves a mark without you even trying. So, if you've ever felt like you're not enough, let this be your wake-up call. Your power doesn't start when others notice it. It starts when you finally see it for yourself. Just as Jung's individuation teaches us, you might not realize your own power like Sophie didn't at that gathering, but the people around you definitely feel it. Which brings us to our next sign. Your absence is noticed even more than your presence. Carl Jung's individuation process teaches us that becoming your authentic self creates a ripple effect. Your energy doesn't just fill a room when you're there. It leaves a void when you're gone. Have you ever left a party early, thinking no one would care, only to get a text later saying, "Why'd you leave? It wasn't the same without you." That's your authenticity making an impact, even after you've walked away. I had a client, Clara, who thought she was just a background person at work events. At a company dinner, she slipped out early to catch up on some rest, assuming no one would notice. The next day, her co-workers kept saying, "We missed you after you left, the energy just wasn't the same." Clara was shocked. She had no idea her quiet warmth had been the glue holding the evening together. Jung would say, this is the power of your individuated self. Your authentic energy creates a sense of connection that people feel deeply, And when it's gone, they can't help but notice the difference. It's not just about being loud or outgoing. It's about the unique vibe you bring, the kind that lingers in people's hearts. So, if someone tells you they felt your absence, don't shrug it off. It's a sign that your authentic presence is more powerful than you ever imagined, leaving a mark that echoes even when you're not around. Your absence leaves a void like Clara's co-workers felt at that dinner. But what about the moments when you're present, yet no words are spoken? That brings us to our final sign in this chapter. Silence with you isn't uncomfortable, it's intense. Carl Jung's individuation process isn't just about what you say or do. It's about the depth of your authentic presence, which can speak louder than words. Have you ever been with someone, maybe sitting together over coffee, when a silence falls between you, but instead of feeling awkward, it feels electric? The other person doesn't fidget, doesn't reach for their phone. They just sit there, fully present with you, as if they're soaking in your energy. I had a client, Jenna, who noticed this on a date. She and her date were at a quiet cafe, and after a lull in their conversation, she expected him to change the subject or get distracted. But instead, he just looked at her, a soft smile on his face, completely at ease in the silence. Later, he told her, "I didn't feel the need to fill the space. I just loved being there with you." Jung would say, this is the magic of your individuated self. Your authenticity creates a depth that makes even silence feel meaningful. That intensity isn't about what's said. It's about the connection your energy fosters, the kind that wraps around someone and holds them close without a single word. So, if you've ever shared a silence that felt more powerful than a conversation, don't underestimate it. It's your authentic presence at its peak, showing just how magnetic you truly are. We've explored how your authenticity creates a magnetic pull from those electric silences with Jenna to the way your absence leaves a void. But sometimes, that same authenticity can stir up stronger reactions, even ones that catch you off guard. In this final chapter, we'll dive into the unspoken attraction that can intimidate others. Inspired by Carl Jung's insights on feminine energy and archetypes, Jung believed that a woman's authentic energy often embodies the archetype of the anima, the feminine essence that's both nurturing and powerful. When you radiate that energy, it can draw people in, but it can also unsettle them. These signs reveal how your allure affects others in ways that might surprise you, showing just how potent your presence truly is. Let's get started with the first sign. Let's start with a sign that might seem small, but speaks volumes. People, especially men, seek you out for the most insignificant reasons. Carl Jung's concept of the anima highlights the magnetic pull of feminine energy, an allure that can make others feel drawn to you, even if they don't know why. Have you ever noticed someone approaching you with the tiniest excuse, like asking for help with something they could easily figure out themselves? Maybe a coworker keeps asking you for advice on a simple task, or a friend texts you out of the blue for a recommendation they didn't really need. I had a client, Zoe, who experienced this at her gym. A guy there would always ask her for help adjusting a machine, even though he clearly knew how to do it. At first, she thought he was just being friendly, but then she noticed he only did this with her, and he'd linger, trying to chat afterward. Jung would say this is the anima at play. Your feminine energy is so captivating that it pulls people toward you. Even if they have to invent a reason to get close, they're not really asking for help. They're looking for a way to connect with the energy you radiate. An energy that feels both comforting and intimidating. So, if someone keeps finding little excuses to be near you, don't overlook it. It's a sign that your unspoken attraction is stirring something deep in them, a pull they can't quite resist. While some people, like the guy at Zoe's gym, find excuses to get closer to your magnetic energy, Not everyone reacts so positively. Which brings us to our next sign. Women sometimes criticize you without any real reason. Carl Jung's concept of the anima doesn't just draw people in, it can also stir up insecurity in others. Especially when your feminine energy shines too brightly for them to handle. Have you ever noticed a woman making a snarky comment about you, like saying you're too much or trying too hard, even though you weren't doing anything to stand out? Maybe you were just being yourself, laughing with friends or sharing an idea at work. When someone rolled their eyes or made a passive-aggressive remark. I had a client, Maya, who experienced this at a family gathering. She was simply sharing a story, feeling confident and happy, when her cousin interrupted with a sarcastic, "Oh, Maya," always the center of attention. Maya was hurt. She wasn't trying to steal the spotlight at all. Jung would say this is your anima energy at work. Your natural radiance can feel threatening to those who aren't secure in themselves, triggering their own shadows to lash out. That criticism isn't about you. It's about how your powerful feminine energy makes them confront their own insecurities. So, the next time a woman throws shade your way, for no reason, don't take it personally. Instead, see it as a sign of your unspoken attraction, a light so bright that it can unintentionally cast shadows on others. We've seen how your radiant energy, like the kind that unsettled Maya's cousin, can stir up criticism from others. But it can also create a different kind of reaction, especially in men. Which brings us to our final sign. Men often get confused around you. Carl Jung's concept of the anima explains that your feminine energy can be so powerful that it evokes a mix of attraction and uncertainty in others. Have you ever had a guy show a lot of interest in you? Maybe he's attentive, compliments you, or seeks you out, but then suddenly pulls back, only to return later like nothing happened. It's confusing, right? But that push and pull isn't always a game. Sometimes, it's a sign of how much your energy affects him. I had a client, Elena, who noticed this with a co-worker. He'd chat with her every day, always finding excuses to be near her. But then he'd go quiet for a week, avoiding her completely, just when she thought he wasn't interested. He'd come back, acting warm and engaged again. Elena felt frustrated, but Jung would say this is her anima energy at play. Her authentic presence is so magnetic that it overwhelms him, making him unsure of how to handle his feelings. He's not pulling away because he doesn't care. He's pulling away because he cares too much and doesn't know how to process it. That confusion is a testament to the depth of your feminine energy, a force so strong it can leave someone grappling with their own emotions. So, if a man seems to run hot and cold around you, don't assume it's a lack of interest. It might just be your unspoken attraction stirring up a storm in his heart. 1. He's still learning how to navigate. And there you have it. 12 hidden signs that you're far more attractive than you ever thought. Seen through Carl Jung's powerful lens of the shadow, individuation, and the anima, from the subtle signals like those nervous glances and shy smiles that reflect your magnetic shadow, to the effortless pull of your authenticity that lights up rooms and even silences, to the unspoken attraction that can intimidate others with your radiant feminine energy. These signs all point to one truth. Your allure isn't just in what you see in the mirror. It's in the energy you carry, the authenticity you embody, and the depth you bring to every moment. Jung taught us that true power comes from embracing every part of yourself, shadow and all. So take this as your invitation to step into that power unapologetically. Which of these signs resonated with you the most? Was it the unexpected compliments, the intense silences, or maybe the way your absence leaves a void? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're seeing your own allure in a new light. If this video helped you uncover the magnetic energy you've been carrying all along, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more transformative insights on self-discovery with Carl Jung. Let's keep growing together on this journey of becoming our truest selves. See you in the next